Hey, peace. Welcome back to another episode of the Money Codes. My name is Joel, here to give you today's Money Code Fix. And on this video today, I want to go over a bank called FNBO, otherwise known as First National Bank of Omaha. And as you guessed in the title and the name of their company, they are a family-owned, independently owned bank based out of Omaha, Nebraska. And over the last few months, there's been a lot of excitement, a lot of traction online around this company. But on today's video, I want to narrow in on their 2% cashback credit card, which we can just jump in. If you're on the homepage, just click on credit cards. And you can see here the Evergreen by FNBO, unlimited 2% cashback on every purchase, every day, everywhere. So on this card, there's not going to be any revolving categories that you have to pay attention to. There's not going to be categories that you have to opt into every quarter. This is just 2%. No matter how you slice it, whether it be groceries, whether it be bills, you get 2% cash back. $200 cash back when you spend $1,000 within the first 3 billing cycles. Is that the best on the market? Not really. However, that is still pretty competitive because there is an alternative card that is more popular, that is more mainstream, that I think the Evergreen by FNBO is actually better than it. We're going to go over that in a second. But $200 cashback bonus when you spend $1,000 within the first 3 billing cycles. No rewards expiration, and this is the part where I like 0% introductory APR for the first 12 billing cycles on purchases and balance transfers after the account is open. So not only is this a 0% APR card on purchases, this is also going to be a 0% APR on balance transfers for the first 12 months. That is very competitive. That kind of beats a couple of the competition, and I'm going to show you that when I do my side-by-side. FNBO is offering very generous starting credit limits. I'm seeing credit limits from $7,000 to $10,000 to $15,000 on credit profiles that aren't necessarily the best. So for example, just to give you one data point, the last person I spoke to about the Evergreen card, which is a client of mine, her FICO scores were around the 670s, 680s. She was able to get approved for a $15,000 credit limit, which on her particular credit profile, that's the highest credit limit she now has, which is now FNBO. She was not able to get into Navy Federal, but for FNBO, you do not have to pay to become a member. You do not have to donate to a nonprofit organization in order to get a backdoor entry into this. This is a bank where you can go directly to the website, scroll down just a little bit, hit apply now. You can see whether or not you're going to get pre-qualified for the Evergreen card. And it's also going to show you what your potential credit limit is going to be. So again, in a nutshell, 2% cash back on everything, sign up bonus of $200 cash back if you spend $1,000 within the first 3 months. No expiration on these rewards. You can take these rewards and you can redeem them for either products in their portal, or you can just do the cash back, which I think most people are going to do. Very generous credit limits, and this is a no annual fee card. So based off this information alone, you can see why a lot of people are excited about this Evergreen card. So if you wanted to see if you can get approved for this card and what your potential credit limit is going to be, all you would have to do is hit apply now. And it's going to ask you for your zip code. I don't know the states that they don't lend to. Up until this point, I have yet to run into someone that said that they tried to apply, and based off of their state, they haven't been able to apply for this card or they were restricted from applying. I haven't seen that yet. If you're somebody that has done that, if you can go down in the comments, if you can let us know the state that you're applying from, and the message that you got, that will be greatly appreciated. All right, so once you click next, you're going to see this page here. Now it says, see if you're pre-qualified in as little as 30 seconds. No impact to your credit score. So if you watch my video on the Discover It card, this is very similar. You're just going to put in your personal information. You're going to put in your address, your date of birth, your social, and you're going to go at the very bottom. You're going to see it's going to say, what card are you trying to apply for? Personal or the small business. And again, I'm going to do a separate video on the business card. But once you fill out your information and you hit check for card offers, they're going to do a soft inquiry, so it's not going to negatively impact your credit score, and it's going to prompt you on the next page whether or not you are pre-approved for any of their credit cards, and it's also going to show you for what amount. Now, as always, I don't care what the bank is, what credit union it is. Anytime you fill out a pre-approval offer online, it's never 100%. They are looking for certain things on your credit profile, and if you meet those certain data points, they're going to give you that pre-approval offer. But just know that once you go ahead and you accept that offer, they will do a hard pull, a hard inquiry. But remember, once you do apply for the card, you will get the hard inquiry. So once you hit submit, hopefully you see something similar to what's on the screen right now, which is a congratulations, you've been pre-qualified. And I have a couple of examples of what you might see. So you can see on this screen, this offer is for their Getaway World MasterCard. This is more so their travel card, but you can see here the credit limit was $6,300 with an APR of 23.99. This next example is the Evergreen card, $15,000 with an APR of 18.24. And another example of what it looks like if you're pre-qualified for the Evergreen card, $15,000 with an APR of 22.24. Now, this is probably going to be a good segue for me to talk about the APR. Number one, the APR is not really going to be the best that you're going to see on the market. In my opinion, that's not really a deal breaker. If you've seen any of my other videos where I talk about the interest rate, or talk about the statement date and your due date. So for credit cards where the entire point of the card is cashback rewards, those type of credit cards, you should not be carrying large balances on those type of products for your gas, for your groceries, for your everyday spend, and then by the due date, pay it off. You don't want to be carrying that large balance. Now for the Evergreen, remember there's going to be, let me zoom in here, there is going to be that 0% introductory APR for purchases and balance transfers. Because if you do get an approval for, let's say, $10,000 or $15,000, you're going to have the opportunity to take the balances that you have on some of your higher interest credit cards, and you're going to have 0% APR for 12 months. If you take the debt on those high interest cards and you balance transfer it over to this Evergreen card, you're going to be saving a ton in interest. And a few other things that I want you guys to pay attention to is there is going to be a balance transfer fee of 5% that applies to each balance transfer that you make minimum of $10. Other companies like Navy Federal, they don't charge you initially for that balance transfer. FNBO is going to charge you 3% on foreign transaction fees. So if you are somebody that's going to be traveling, this is not going to be the very best card for you. And there have been people online that have applied. They've gotten their card, their high credit limit of 10,000, 15,000. And some people have complained that their credit card limits have been reduced and even possibly their entire accounts have been canceled. I read a couple of reviews where someone had a collection pop back up on their credit profile and then FNBO went ahead and reduced their spending limit. This is something that you want to be mindful of. This isn't the first time we've heard banks do this, so just keep in mind if you're going ahead and you're applying for these spending limits and these credit card products, just know, try to make sure that you're keeping your credit profile intact because some of these banks, some of these credit card issuers, they are a little bit scary. If they're seeing anything that may cause a red flag in their system, you may see your high credit card limit get reduced. Sometimes I like to do a side-by-side comparison of what else is really out there. And two cards that I think may be an alternative or may be the competition for what FNBO is trying to do is the Citi Double Cash and the Wells Fargo Active Cash card. So very quickly, I'm just going to do a breakdown. I wasn't able to pull the FNBO card on NerdWallet, so I can't do the side by side. So I'm just going to have these two up on the screen. So you can see here the recommended score is going to be good to excellent for both. My client that got approved for the Evergreen card, her credit scores were around the 670 to 680 range. So that kind of meets this criteria. And of course, other variables are at play. But if you are in the mid to high sixes, you should be okay. All three of the cards are going to have $0 in annual fees. The Citi Double Cash card, they're not going to have a bonus offer. However, the Wells Fargo Active Cash, as well as the FNBO Evergreen card, they're going to have identical bonus offers, which is basically $200 cash back when you spend $1,000 in purchases within the first 3 months. So Wells Fargo and FNBO are pretty much identical here. So what are the rewards rates? Citi is going to have 2% on every purchase, but it's kind of split. So you're going to spend 1% cash back when you buy, and then you're going to get an additional 1% when you pay off those purchases. The Wells Fargo Active Cash is a lot simpler. Again, this is identical to FNBO, a flat rate, 2% cash back, very simple. So you can see the Wells Fargo Active Cash and the FNBO, they're very similar. Citi is going to give you 0% APR on balance transfers for 18 months. Notice that they're not going to give you that 0% APR on purchases, but only for balance transfers. Wells Fargo is going to give you 0% APR for 15 months on purchases and balance transfers. FNBO is going to give you 0% APR for 12 months on balance transfers and purchases. So Wells Fargo has a slight edge when it comes to that introductory APR. Hopping back over to the FNBO website, you can see after that introductory period, you're going to see the rate jump back to 14.99 and 23.99. And as you can see here, again, it's almost identical to Wells Fargo's Active Cash card. All of them are going to have no annual fee. All of them are going to give you the 2% cash back. All of them are going to give you very solid introductory APRs, but they're going to be slightly different depending on whether or not you need that balance transfer or if you're just going to be doing a purchase. So whether or not you're going to be taking advantage of that balance transfer or if you're just going to be doing strictly purchases, that might be the variable that might determine whether or not which one of these cards are going to be the right fit. And then the cons are going to be almost identical as well. Now, one thing I will say that's not really black and white, most people are a little bit hesitant to affiliate themselves with Wells Fargo. I've mentioned this on several of my videos. Wells Fargo doesn't really have the best reputation when it comes to ethical banking. They're still in the middle of trying to get their reputation back on track. So for that reason, I can see a lot of people still shying away from Wells Fargo. But I think the advantage here, especially if you take advantage of the pre-approval link, if you can go ahead and you can get a $10,000, $15,000 card from FNBO, take advantage of that 0% introductory rate. That right there is where I think you're going to get a lot of bang for your buck. And in my opinion, makes the distinction between all three of those cards. Aside from Navy Federal, I'm not sure of many banks or credit unions that are going to potentially give you $10,000, $12,000, $15,000 in spending limit, and you're still in the mid to high 600s. That right there alone is where I see the advantage over the Wells Fargo and over the Citi, is because of those generous credit limits. I think this card more than holds its weight. I do believe it offers more than some of its competitors. So that's the end of the video. Hopefully you got a couple of gems from it. If you did, please go ahead, like, subscribe. Go down in the comments. Let me know if you've already applied for this card. If you've had this card for quite some time, let me know your thoughts. Let me know if they've done a reduction on your spending limit. Let me know if you live in a state and you weren't able to apply. That way the entire community can benefit from it. So that's all I got. I will check you out in the next video, which will likely be going over the data points for their business credit card. All right, see you in the next video. Peace.